Hi, Michelle. How are you today? How's it going?
I'm good, Lindsay. Would you say you're a social butterfly?
Wow, a social butterfly. I'd say I used to be a little more of a social butterfly when I was younger, but I can be in that mood sometimes. What about you, Michelle? Are you a social butterfly?
I would say in general, I lean more towards social butterfly than not, but
Uh-huh.
it really depends on the situation. I mean, for you, would you say it's different between your personal life or in business or
Yeah, probably different. Yeah, between business and personal life. It also depends, even in my personal life, who I'm around. Is it
Mhm.
family? Is it extended family? Is it friends? Is it friends I know well versus
Mm,
like brand new people I haven't met before? It just
right.
depends on the context and the mood of the day, Michelle, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. As that's a good point. Sometimes we can change. It doesn't mean that we're a social butterfly at one point and then not at another, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it
but
can
this
always be
concept
different.
gets to a really important concept, which is social skills. And I think I think at the C1 level, Michelle, this is where we see the overlap between connection, social skills, and English, right? It's at this
Mhm.
point, it's no longer about grammar, right? Because we've pretty much got the grammar, but it's
Right.
about putting those into action, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. So, well, we are excited to talk about our C1 fluency course, right, Lindsay?
Yes, Michelle, we are launching our brand new fluency course. It is live now. And this is a very special offer that we have available for you guys just this week only. You're going to save up to $100 until November 17th at midnight. And you're also going to get a free bonus this time, which is called our Advanced Listening with Multiple Speakers course. That's a $99 value, but we're going to throw
Yeah.
that into your learning package for free this week only. Michelle, where can our listeners go to get this new C1 course? We're going to talk about it a little more and socializing in English, but where can they go right now if they just want to jump in?
Okay. Jump in at allearsenglish.com/C1. That's letter C, number one.
Exactly. And Michelle, what are we going to cover today in this episode?
Well, today we're going to talk about something that is from the course. In the course, it makes me think of the expression "there's no I in team." You ever hear that one?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of a cheesy thing that gets thrown around every once in a while. Lindsay, what does it mean?
There's no I in team. So it is a little cheesy. So basically, it's kind of a play on words. So we say there's no I in team. Yes, team is spelled TEAM. And
Mhm.
there's you, if you're acting as a team, you should not be saying I, right? That's
Mhm.
the idea.
Mhm.
Very cute. Very cute.
Yes, very cute. So, today we're going to talk about this concept and why this is important in the business world. And I mean, a social butterfly, that's a term that we use in the course.
Hmm.
So, when we think of being a social butterfly, maybe sometimes you're being a social butterfly, but you have to, that's great, but you have to think about it in terms of also letting others speak, right?
Yeah.
Uh, you have to make room for other people to speak. And this is something that we really spend time on in the course. To me, this is really the next level of being
Mm,
proficient in English, right? Not just focusing on speaking, but listening to the other person
yes.
and just knowing when to stop talking and give them a little bit of space. What do you think, Lindsay?
I love that idea that at the C1 level, this is where we're at, right? We are, like I said before, we've mastered the grammar. Yes, we're learning new vocabulary, and you do in the C1 course. Actually, you get up to 100 new vocabulary
Yeah.
words in that course, which is incredible. So, yes, we're adding vocab, but we're also refining our connection skills. And part of that is the ability to hear those nuances and sense when someone has something more to say in English. Are there certain
Yeah.
cues? Are there certain things they might say in English that show us that? Or when they're done and they want to hear from you, right?
Exactly, exactly. And one, I love this from the course. It's such a great picture because
Hmm.
we talk about a me monster. Lindsay,
Yes.
what is a me monster?
Well, this term actually originally came out of our business course, an interview
Mhm.
that Aubrey did with James Greaves, and he was talking about this skill of socializing in business, the idea not to dominate a conversation. And then we have an entire lesson in the C1 course where the guest we interviewed, unfortunately, was a me monster, and we see that, and we
Oh.
we see how that turns out. Aubrey interviews this guest, and it just wasn't really an enjoyable conversation. And so we see the other side of it and we show you how to make sure you're not doing this in English, right?
Yeah, that
Super
is
interesting.
very important. Yeah, that is extremely important to not you have to have that intelligence to know when to let somebody else in. just recently, I think we did an episode, or we've done episodes where we were focusing on whole paragraphs of speech. And
Mhm.
we said, of course, it wouldn't be like this. You would listen. You're not just going to say a monologue and then at the end be silent. You're not performing. It's an interactive thing. Conversation, connection is interactive.
Totally. Exactly. And now at this point, at this level, the advanced level, we have the space to kind of think about that. So, Michelle, today we're going to talk about some phrases where we can, what do you think? Pull the person back in?
Right, exactly. When you're not going to be a me monster,
Mhm.
what you can ask someone when there's a pause in the conversation, or when you realize
Yeah.
there's time to put some space to let the other person speak. So that's what we're
Mhm.
going to be sharing with you today.
I love it. So let's go right into it so our listeners can come away with these phrases that'll be super tangible and we can actually implement them right away. And then, of course, if we want to go further and truly build these skills in a plan, that would be the time to get into the course. So, Michelle, what is the first tip or the first tactic here?
Right. Well, the first one is just talk about the other person. So
Hmm.
you're saying what you think, and then you have to ask them questions. So really simple ones, guys. I'm sure you've heard these, but just I wanted to highlight them today, not so much because they're advanced phrases, but because we're talking about the concept and when to use them. So, of course, saying something like, "What about you?" or "How
Hmm.
about you?" Always just letting that person in. So if you're giving them a big if you're giving them a long speech,
Yeah, yeah,
just
you're speaking
letting
for
them
a long
in.
time. Yeah, exactly. If
Right.
you realize this is a great way to flip the conversation. All maybe you forget, maybe you get excited about what you're saying. It happens to the best of us, right?
Mhm,
You're going
mhm.
on and then all of a sudden you think, "Oh my gosh, oh, I've been talking too long." Flipping over to, "What about you? How about you? What do you think?"
Mhm.
These are really
Mhm.
easy tools to reset and then immediately you can change the balance of the conversation. Even if you think it's long gone and you've kind of lost the person, you can actually change how well that conversation's going in the other person's
Yes.
eyes, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then the other thing is if you ever feel like you're going on for too long, you probably are. If you have that feeling, it means it's true, right? Go with your
Right.
gut. So
Yeah.
just throw it out there, split it up with another question. So maybe something more specific.
Mhm.
So have you ever experienced this, or are
Yeah.
you interested in getting a little bit more specific to get that person speaking more and more involved?
Yes, exactly. Okay. So have you ever done something or have you ever seen something or are you interested in X? And it could be referring to what you've just shared, or it could be
Mhm.
something changing the subject too, right? You could be
Mhm,
pivoting to a
mhm.
different topic as well with these phrases.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. And
Mhm.
then the third thing is actually just pausing,
Wow,
just
how
waiting.
empowering.
Yes, right, and we've talked about how sometimes just pausing can show confidence,
Yes,
and so
yes,
if you're speaking and you realize you're in a little bit of a monologue, having the confidence not only in yourself, but in the other person, right? To
yes.
show, okay, well, I have confidence that this conversation can move on, and just
Mhm.
wait and let them speak. So wait for a lull. If you feel like you're going on, just pause and see what the person says and give
Yes.
them the room to speak because hopefully they will.
100%. And of course, our in our culture, it's a little harder to like silence is something that's hard for us, for a lot of us, but as we get more mature, build that self-confidence, maybe it happens the other way. Maybe we build the self-confidence by taking the chances and giving the pauses. You know what I
Right.
mean? That's an
Right.
interesting idea too, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
here again, we're focusing on the questions you can ask, but also just the power of pausing. So
Mhm.
should we do a role play and see how
Yeah.
it looks?
Yeah, let's do it, Michelle. So here we are. You are sharing information about what you've been working on with a colleague from a different
You.
department. So it's okay
Yes, you're
with me.
my
Okay,
colleague.
okay,
Sorry.
yes,
Okay,
okay,
here we go.
okay. Got it. Got
Okay.
it. Got it. Yes.
So it's been really exciting to work on this project. I can't believe the presentation is coming up so soon. We've been working so hard, extra hours and everything.
Wow, that's great.
What about you? Anything exciting on your end?
Yes, we have a presentation coming up too. It's on the future of measuring statistics. Are you interested in that topic? I've been learning a lot about it lately.
I'm interested. My presentation is not about that at all. I don't know much about that topic, but it sounds interesting.
Definitely. All right, Michelle. So, what else happened in this role play here?
Right. Okay. So let's get into it. So, yeah, I said, what about you? Anything exciting on your end? So, yeah, like I said, I'm changing it back to you. And so now it's your turn to take some time, give me some information.
Yes, I love it. So you flipped it back to me. And then I said, yeah, we have a presentation coming up too. And I like how I'm syncing up with you, right? I'm matching the topic
Mhm.
to what you talked about presentations.
Right.
It's on the future of measuring statistics.
I don't know. I just made that up. I don't know.
Now I like it. It makes me
Okay.
sound very smart.
Yes,
So it's good.
exactly.
And then I said, are you interested in that topic? So I've been learning a lot about it. This is another great way to see if they have anything to say about it, right? We did another
Exactly.
episode, Michelle, which I'm not sure which one it was, but how to ask experts about their expertise at a
Yes.
party. Do you remember that one?
Yes, I do,
Yeah.
I do.
Hmm.
Yes, that would be a good one to listen to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I don't have the episode number right
Yeah.
now, but,
Yep.
yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, this is just all about an interaction. If you were to go on and on about yourself, you become a me monster, you're not gonna be someone that someone really wants to interact with that much because people feel that. They feel when someone is being a me monster, and so
Yes.
with this course, we really get into that, like I said, and this
Yeah.
is especially, I mean, it's important for any area of your life, but business English, yeah, that's huge for these workplace connections.
Yeah, I just love the idea that now that we're at the C1 level, for anyone that's
Mhm.
there, anyone that's ready for it, it's time to, like I said, focus on the more interesting aspects of
Yes.
connection,
Yes.
right? We get to finally drop our obsession of grammar and we have the grammar we need. We have a
Mhm.
lot of yes, we do work on it. We work on pronunciation, we work on grammar in this course, but in this course, we're going to show you these very subtle things. Like if you do end
Yeah.
up in front of a me monster, what can you do?
Right.
Right? Today we talked about how not to be that me monster,
Right.
but also in the course, what do you do?
Yeah. Yeah.
How can you react? These are subtle connection skills that, frankly, are not taught in most online English courses. Most online
Yes.
English courses still stick with the basics, and we
Yeah.
go way beyond that. So, Michelle, how can our listeners get into the course? Because we do have a deadline for this special offer.
Okay, yeah, this so you can save up to $100 until November 17th at midnight. And guys, you can get that free bonus along with it. That's a $99 value, which is advanced listening with multiple speakers.
Yeah, and that's a really unique course. That's an
Yes.
entire course, a mini course, which featured four speakers, the four of us,
Yep.
Jessica, Aubrey, Michelle, and me, and on the microphone together, where it adds a brand new layer, multiple
Right.
new layers
Right.
on top of what you're hearing here, layers of challenge, layers of intrigue. People love that course. I was
Yeah.
reviewing our testimonials for that course,
Yeah.
and when you join this week, you get it for free. But after the deadline of November 17th at midnight, you will no longer get that bonus included. So you might as well get into the course now if you
Yeah.
see yourself in the C1 level this year at any point, because we do have lifetime access. So, Michelle,
No.
where can they go again? One more time?
Go to allearsenglish.com/C1. And again, that's letter C, number one. And I'm just so excited for you guys to see this and to work towards that C1 level. I'm excited for you.
Good stuff. All right, Michelle, thanks for coming on and talking about this very important concept
Yes.
that can have a big impact on our social lives and our business lives, right? Our professional lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, Lindsay. Well, thanks for chatting with me. And guys, we'll see you in the next episode.
All right. Take care, Michelle. Bye.
Bye.